Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that made this game and are making other games, you can go to Patreon, $3 a month. And you get those games a bit earlier, than newest ones. So, on the last Let's Play, we looked for Carl and didn't find Carl yet. On the other routes, he was in the basement in like a crawl space, and maybe he could still be here. But yeah, we're calling his parents and the police, and there's also a spooky scary in his most recent pictures. So yeah. Also, the parents are after Leo as well because they got his plates and, destruction of property and running. And we got in a fight with Leo because, of course, relationship stuff and us leaving Echo and da. And Leo went off to go look for him somewhere else. So yeah, pretty much that. Let's just set our face and begin. Oh, for saying that I was going to press F9. He dusts himself off in his front and begins fiddling with his shirt collar, walking off back towards the stairwell before I can respond. That being Flynn, the lizard guy, because he was shoulder checked by Leo pretty hard. Through the window, I can see Leo outside. He's down the road a ways, past his van. He's talking to someone. I see the figure he's talking to point towards the house we're in, and Leo crosses his arms. It can't be the sheriff already, can it? What was that sound? Moving to the window to get a close look, I can see that figure is a weasel. Duke. Jesus, I haven't seen him in years. I used to see him around the porch a lot back when we visited Leo's place, near daily. I'm gonna just check. Okay, sound thing's still up. I just wanted to make sure that people weren't listening to me talking about fleshlights inside the house. As far as I remember, he was the loner type, occasionally getting involved with civic stuff and the mayor. I have a vague memory of him being married to a younger lady when I was a kid, but I remember seeing her after first grade because she was murdered by the bear guy. At least in Leo's route. Her interactions with me were always pretty brief, not much to judge by personality by. Now, though, he is pointing at the house, speaking loudly, though I can't discern what he's saying. Leo just looks angrier, his tail stiff. Despite the range, I can practically feel the old fellow's gaze shifting, meeting mine through the window. His pointing hand shifts now, arm directly at me. I reflexively blink, stepping back. When my eyes refocus, there's a plume of dust in the air. Duke is on his back, in the middle of the dirt road, and Leo is quickly marching back towards his van. So I remember in, Leo's route that Duke was going, hey, there's something weird with that otter. I've been seeing him, and also he comes after us because he wants the truth about, all the mystical goings on in Echo. What the hell? Duke is already back up on his feet, sprinting now away from Carl's house, his mouth still moving. He's saying something. Okay, how is he sprinting away from the house but you can see his mouth moving? Leo's van peels away from the driveway, gravel kicking up in its wake. Within a few seconds, he's out of sight as well. Jesus. I walk over to the door, locking it once again, just to be safe. Left alone, I head out of the kitchen. As I walk past the living room, I overhear the low rasp of Flynn's voice, his tone serious. And then the fucker shoved me. You said he was pulling this shit at the mall too? I'd like to talk to Chase if you want more details. Oh yeah, I'd talk to Chase for more details. To think, he just had to pick this day of all days to fucking snap. Flynn rubs the tip of his snout. His slitted eyes narrowed until they spot me, Then he just looks back to Jenna. Let's call him Malco now. No, Maluko? Right. Flynn begins to dial for the sheriff. Jenna looks towards the door, then to me. We'll talk later, Chase. Okay? If you want, of course. I pause, having been about to head upstairs. Oh yeah, sure thing. She smiles at me, despite everything. Oh hey. TJ raises up from the Carl's computer chair, clearly forcing a smile, as he sees me. He's clutching his cell phone into his chest. TJ? Yeah? Are you okay? No. TJ sinks back down into his chair. Perking a brow, I move one of Carl's console gaming chairs, move over towards the computer area, over to the computer. TJ slides his cell phone into the back in his pocket. I'm worried about Carl. We all are. We're calling the police, and hopefully they can help us, yeah? Yeah? I know. It's just that image on his phone, you know? The picture Carl took? Yeah? It's, spooky. Spooky doesn't begin to describe my initial thoughts regarding it. But this is TJ I'm speaking to. So gentle, words and all. Yeah. One of his canines sinks into his lower lip. The lynx is chewing on it nervously. Maybe it's a screenshot of something he had on his monitor. We could check his history and recent documents to make sure. Have you already checked all that? His face flashes with a guilty expression. No. There's a password required to log in. Okay, let's just guess. It's gonna be Lucha Libro? Or Lucha Lobo? Oh yeah, the new version of these operating systems makes you log in with your email account. It's dumb. Yeah, it is. He pauses, thinking for a moment, then scoot a little closer to the keyboard. May I? TJ blinks. It takes him a second to understand. Oh, yeah, sure. He rolls to the side, and I pull up the keyboard close to me. Clicking the mouse brings up this generic login window. The username, Blaze Ice, is visible. When we were younger, Carl and I used to play a lot of free-to-play MMO-type games. I convinced him to give me his password once, saying that it granted XP for him while he was on vacation with his parents. In reality, Asshole sent me his rare party hat item to my character. Wait. That I grind XP for him. Reality, asshole me. Okay, sends this rare. Yeah. I tried to tell him that the game devs deleted the item from the game, but I don't think he believed me. God, I was a shitty 10-year-old. Oh hey, that worked. Yeah, kinda surprised he's still using the same old password, but kinda not at the same time. Carl isn't much for change, right? Anyway, what should we look through first? TJ scoots closer, his chin practically on my shoulder. I have to shift my head some, so that his whiskers don't brush my cheek. It's Messenger, I guess? Huh. I don't recognize most of these names. I see you and me on here. Most of these others outside the group are his online friends. Sorry, I have to hack. Sorry. Anything interesting? Jesus was a skunk? Not really. It's good to note that he's still being social and meeting people after we left. Well, besides the names of people I'm in our own group, these look to be all online people. I played Vox Disparis multiplayer with Carl, and that Lucha guy before. He lives on the other side of the planet, practically. I wonder if he still talks to Heather. I hope not. There's a brief silence. Flynn messaged him earlier, though. I see a 1 next to his name. But I don't think he wants us reading that. He didn't want anyone looking through Carl's phone after he and Jenna were looking at it. I think Flynn might have been venting to Carl about what happened at the river pretty hard-like. TJ's face briefly scrunches, as if flinching in response to that information. I move to click on Flynn's name, but TJ stops me. No! Blinking, I look over towards the wide-eyed TJ, who seems to be now recoiling from his own abrupt interruption. What? Sorry. I just think we shouldn't pry into that, if you didn't want us to see it. To be honest, Flynn being so cagey about his contact with Carl just makes me more curious. However, if what little stuff Flynn said to TJ to his face was enough to leave him shaken and distraught, I can hardly imagine what seeing the stuff he didn't say would do. Alright. I scoot back into the side a little, letting TJ take the mouse. He still looks pretty guilty for snapping at me. Let's check his browser history. Okay. TJ moves the cursor down to the star-like symbol on the taskbar. Okay, weeds. Best stands to look for. Sticky Icky. Hauntings of the Desert. Futa Factory. Tagged favorites. Hell yeah. Blaze Ice. Search Gamer. Flesh Affinity? Crank Powered. A lot of Crank Powered. I'm gonna check out Crank Powered Cards, Crank Powered Tag Retro, Crank Powered Tag Roleplaying, Crank Powered User Blaze Ice, Listing Stay at Home Jobs. Huh, Resume Helper. Good for him. Crank Powered Crank Tag MMO, Crank Powered Tag Card, VR. MoldyCucumbers.com, Superwolf Retribution, search bar entry, I'm anti-do-it, Peyton's print and design, okay, Weed Hauntings, porn, video game, movie reviews, job search stuff, and let's plays. I guess pretty par for the course with regards to Carl. Nothing too unusual, but TJ moves the cursor to the Futa Factory, I think, link. I gently, yet assertively place it upon TJ's own, and move the cursor elsewhere. No, we have to see the Futa Factory. It's a store for special, couches. Isn't that called a futon? No. Look, the browsing history stops right before midnight. And the picture in Carl's phone was taken around that time, right? Yeah. That's really weird. It is. Let's keep looking. Try recent files. TJ nods, closing the browser and hesitating for a moment before clicking on the most recent file titled Carl Doc. I don't think it'll be good. Okay, it's actually a resume. A resume? When he uses with italics, looks like it. Heh, I remember the easy mart. I'm still a little upset that it shut down. I mean, it's no surprise why, TJ. Yeah, it was just nice to have a local food back when we were kids. The convenience store just the same. The dietary choices available to people here are now really limited. We basically call it a food desert. Unless they drive all the way to Peyton. A food desert, I think it's called. Okay, this game is, more modern than I thought it'd be. Plus, it was nice to see Carl there working. He seemed to enjoy that place. Because he got to slack off the whole time, and there was barely any customers. But I get what you're saying. His anxiety about being around people wasn't really as bad back then. TJ nods, smiling sadly. I bet Jenna could help him. She's not actually training to be a psychologist, right? The studies are more neural meds techy. Oh, I know. I didn't. She's a really good listener, though. I nod. It's her big ears. That's racist. Chase! I snicker, TJ shaking his head and closing the resume. He moves open the next document, unlisted. FS space 129768 JPEG. Futa? Huh. What the? Aw. It's my old profile picture I drew up for the computer back class in the 4th grade. Wow, really? It does look kind of familiar, kinda. Yeah, I used it back when we all made social media accounts. My mom made me delete mine when I got home. That was probably for the best. There was a lot of drama about how that site made you pick your top 8 friends, and you ranked them like that. A lot of feelings were hurt and such. That sounds awful. I think I remember some of it. Sydney didn't ever add me. God, I do, one thing I don't do that whole thing that... So there's a site I use, and used to use, where on your page you can be like, these are my friends here. Something that really bothered me was I had a best friend, something that was really close to me, and when he found that we were both furries, he added me to the thing, and then for no explicable reason, he took me off it, and it's like, we're friends, right? He still had a bunch of other friends, but he just took me off, and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that relationship didn't last. And not just because of that, but anyways, I digress. Tia's gaze shifts for a moment. I'm wondering why he has this saved, and why he was looking at it yesterday. Maybe spending time together again made him sentimental? I still watch some of the funny movies we made with your camera back then. Your voice used to crack so much. I feel the string of embarrassment rise from my neck to my cheeks. Oh man, I need to delete those. No, don't. They're really good. As silly as they are, you were really good at making them. I grinned, waving dismissively. Just open the X file, TJ. I really like the ones you use at editing software to make a twin of yourself. I think the plot of one of the twins was a detective, and the other was a criminal, both trying to solve their father's murder. And they had superpowers. I was more ambitious than I probably should have been with that project. TJ, just click the next one. Oh, alright, sorry. Now here's a question. What are my recent pictures or stuff? Is it quick access or pictures or something? I guess this thing doesn't do it, because the most recent things is OBS, week 4, week 5, week 6. You know, what videos I have there. It really doesn't show me, my most recent images up, looked at or whatever. Okay, so, next one, horny or spooky? 3, 2, 1. I guess, I don't know when it is. JJ clicks on the next file, labeled 09222008 PNG. Oh, it's a nice picture. That's from the trip we took to the reservation. Back in freshman year of high school? Jeez. It's already in my face. Look at you two. You were so little. Carl was just getting his beard. I think we're both just getting used to high school at the time, and that was taken during Thanksgiving. It's surprising to see Carl smiling in a photo. It's surprising to see something of Carl other than his butt in a photo. I wish he wouldn't send me those. There was only one of them left on the list of files that were last opened yesterday. It was titled To Carl PNG. Maybe Carl's still listening with his butt pictures? Wait a second, it sounds familiar. TJ looks at me curiously, then clicks it. Oh wow. I emailed this to Carl months ago. Rolls like this make me wish I went with you guys to Pueblo. Yeah, I wish you went too, TJ. I was actually trying to convince Carl to come back and try again with a different major. His parents really wanted him to stay away from art degrees, which meant that he really which is what he really wants to do. TJ looks like he's about to respond, but his left ear perks. His attention shifts towards the doorway. I hear the sound of thuds against the carpet out of the hall, and half expect to see Carl round the corner and ask what the hell we were doing. Instead, Jenna steps in, her turquoise eyes already trained on the computer monitor. She moves closer, leaning over me and squinting at the screen. I remember that. First year at Pueblo. Your parents had just dropped you off. I was wondering what the heck you had on your chin at the time. Oh yeah, hadn't seen me with facial scruff yet. I never took you for a soul patch kind of guy, honestly. It's a goatee. It's kind of small for one, don't you think? I frown, reactively reaching up and touching the scruff at the end of my chin. It was kind of weird, but now I'm used to seeing it. I frown deeper. TJ blinks, giving an apologetic look. I try and reinforce the conversation. Carl's missing. He is. Why are you looking at old pictures? These were the files he was looking at yesterday. And we checked his browser history. His online activity stopped just before midnight and didn't ever resume. Anything unusual there? I think he was just looking to buy Futa. Jenna stands there, staring at TJ with a deadpan expression. After about 5 seconds, she looks at me expectantly. He means a futon. But you said, no, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, well, I'll be sure to let the sheriff know when she gets here. Okay, how does she know what Futa is? Like, does everyone here know about Futa except TJ? I don't know, if you look at porn, that doesn't necessarily mean you look at Futa. Just saying. Flynn steps into the room and besides Jenna. Usually, the Gila is a bit of a case of resting bitch face. Right now, he looks downright sour. So I guess that's what the species is? Alright, let's figure out who's going to look where. Oof Boy made the decision to go check the roads. Elizabeth, through Dangcha Chase. You've got Margaret Lane through Tetanus Alley, Jasmine Street. I'm giving you more since you've got a car. I'll take Gretchen Way through the beginning part of Route 65 in my truck. TJ, you like hiking. We need you to check around the hills and old nature trails around here, all the way down the lake. Though that's a thing, it's like, isn't it getting dark? That might be a bit more dangerous. TJ stiffens, and the feeling in the room seems to cool drastically. Only if you're comfortable doing that, okay? We just wanted to be thorough. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I just want Carl to be okay. Jenna nods, offering TJ a reassuring smile. Just text me while you're out. I'll most likely be free, since I'll be keeping watch here at the house. TJ smiles back sheepishly. Okay. Before you all scat off to your respective places, I found some weird shit in the basement. Flynn holds up his fingers. There's being some white chalky substance upon them. At the entrance of the crawl space, there's a bunch of hoof prints, dents in the wall, and plaster everywhere. Like Carl was headbutting the damn thing. There's nothing I can see in there, though. Okay, so it's like there's that, but also it's like I think he had some drywall on his like head or white stuff when we were doing Leo's route and found him being all dazed. My theory is that Jeremy gave him bad weed, at least for some shit, and now Carl's on some real bad trip. Which is why I need you to talk to Jeremy when he gets to Jasmine Chase. He looks sidelong towards Jenna. Jasmine Street, or Jaslyn? I don't know. I feel a chill crawl up my spine. Jeremy, and especially his friends, made my life hell during most of my childhood, especially after the lake accident. All of them are native inhabitants of Jasmine Street. If it wasn't for Leo stepping in, things would have been even worse. You can text me too, Chase. She seems to have read the look on my face. I swallow and try to look casual. Okay. Flynn rolls his eyes so hard I can see his pupils for a moment. Pausing, I remember something. I saw Leo get into an argument with Duke outside the house earlier. Duke kept pointing at it and was saying something to him. Whatever Duke said, it was enough for Leo to push him to the ground and drive off. Knowing Leo's minimum threshold for violent turns, probably hello. Flynn seems to soften a bit at that comment, looking sidelong to hide his smirk before returning to his more hardened expression. But in seriousness, that is concerning. I'll also relay this information to Sheriff Mulco, and when she gets here, I'll text Leo and try to find out what he wanted. Good plan. Leo, what he wanted? Was it what Leo wanted? Okay. Flynn immediately heads out without another word. TJ hesitates a little, fidgeting with something on the computer, but gets up and leaves as well. I'm about to follow suit before Jenna stops me, her paw on my shoulder. Hey, if Jeremy asks about me, you don't need to lie and say that I'm not here or anything, okay? Oh, yeah, I understand. She lowers her paw, recrossing her arms over her chest. We'll talk later, yeah? I feel like I'm lingering on to the point of awkwardness now. Good luck. You too. With the clearing of my throat, I shuffle my way out. And I guess with us leaving the house and us getting to near 30 minutes, I think that's a good time to call it. So, and if this Let's Play, so comment, guys, I like comments, tell me what you like, dislike, tips, as always. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that it grow. And please remember to ban your animals to help control the pet population. And if you want to play the game, it's available for free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people that made this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon. Not of this game because it's finished, but of other games because they're doing bunches of other games. Patreon, $3 a month. This game's finished. And yeah, until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix of Where's Carl? That being Echo. So thanks and see ya.